Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to the channel. We are here in Maximum Football 2020 gearing up for week 8 of the inaugural season of the ACSA. We are now more than halfway through this very first season ever for the American Collegiate Sports Association. And today what I'm going to do is going to go through the new top 25 polls that have just been released, as well as take a look at the most recent recruits that signed with various schools throughout the ACSA. And then finally take a look at the games that will be shown here on the channel as we get through week 8. Things are certainly starting to heat up, so it's going to be a really good one. So make sure you smash that like button as well as hit subscribe if you happen to be brand new. And without further ado, let's go into the top 25 polls just released for the ACSA. So starting with the ACSA Top 25 that just was released, and we finally have some stability on the top again. Top 2 teams do remain the same as Capital Tennessee and Warwick. Both retain their spots as the number 1 and number 2 teams in the nation. But after that, we got some love for the Big North as the 3, 4, and notably 5 spots are now taken by the Big North Conference. Bluffton Tech making the biggest move of the week, moving up 6 spots all the way up to number 5. So very good to see the Bluffton Tech Fighting Muskrats get some love. They have deserved to be in that top 5 position, and they finally have gotten there. Although there's some other teams to still watch out for. Southern New Mexico and Texas Catholic are both undefeated from the Big Southwest Conference. But Coastal Alabama falls down a little bit, down 4 spots to number 8. But they are still in play for a lot of things. This season is far from over for the Coastal Alabama Laves. After that, we have the next tier of teams in the ACSA Top 25. Oaksterdam and Little Rock both getting some love, as Oaksterdam has emerged as one of the best teams in the Big Pacific Conference. And as a result of that, while they're still undefeated and have some things left to prove, they still have what it takes to potentially make the college football playoff at number 9. But don't count out Little Rock though. They're up 5 spots now. They are now in the top 10 after another impressive win in Super South Conference play, beating the Peach Panthers from UGBC by a score of 41-12. So they now round out the top 10. Do have a couple of teams that did take some hard falls though. We have Chattanooga Tech, who has the biggest drop of this week, falling 6 spots to number 11, even though they did play the number 1 team in the nation in the Bulldogs, and only lost 16-0, so it's not a bad loss by any means. But the ACSA pollsters not being shown any love. Herbert Hoover also having to play the number 2 team. They lose and fall down 5 spots because of it. And then we have David Crockett, the Iowa Institute of Technology, and Hayes all falling down a little bit in the ACSA polls as well. And finally, we have the final 7 teams that will be rounding out the ACSA Top 25 going to week 8 in this inaugural season of the ACSA here in Maximum Football 2020. We have 4 new teams in the poll this time around. University of Delaware and Kent make their very first appearance, since week 1. They started off as a top 25 team. They were number 17, I think, and they fell out just because their win wasn't that impressive in week 1. But they're finally back in. They're now number 21 in the nation. University of Iroquois made a brief appearance back in week 5, I do believe, but they were shortly knocked out, after, a tough loss as well in Big North Conference play. The Amazon Delivery Boys are now also in the top 25 for the very first time this season, representing the Big Pacific Conference. And the same thing could be said about Lake Oswego, who represents the Rocky Mountain Conference. So Rocky Mountain represent, as Lake Oswego jumps into the top 25 for the first time this season, not only as a team, but the first time that we also seen the top 25 team, representing the Rocky Mountain Conference. So nice job by the Rocky Mountain as a whole to produce a top 25 squad. So now that we made it through the ACSA Top 25, it is now time to take a look at the ACSA recruiting update taking a look at the top 100 guys that did sign over this past week to various schools around the league, as well as taking a look at the newest ACSA recruiting rankings based on the top 100 guys that have currently signed at this juncture of the season. So we'll go ahead and check that out right now. So during the course of week 7, we did have 7 guys announce their commitments to various schools that are part of the Phil Steele Top 100 in Maximum Football 2020. Those top 3 guys that did end up signing are all going to the Central Georgia A&M Bulldogs. Darius Williams, D.D. Parker, and James Welch all represent the defensive side of the ball, and all of them are going to help bolster the Bulldogs defense for years to come. All of them being top 50 prospects, 4-star guys that are going to the Super South School. Meanwhile, not to be outdone, Bluffton Tech also done a real good job of bringing in some nice quality prospects. Most notably, wide receiver Jesse Smith, number 47 overall rated prospect, a 4-star guy that is also going to Bluffton Tech University and will be accompanied by the commitments of Jalen Lewis and Brennan O'Donnell, both of which are 4-star prospects as well. Finally, tight end Buddy Evans is the 90th overall rated prospect in the Phil Steele Top 100. And we have Boston State get some love as they get their first Top 100 commit this season. They have had a difficult time so far over the course of this season. They weren't ranked in the top 25 at one point, but they have fallen off ever since they reached that top 25 mark. And now they're under 500, but this commitment by Buddy Evans will surely help them out going forward. Hopefully there's more to come for Boston State in terms of a brighter future. So now it is time to take an update at the ACSA recruiting rankings that we have going. Boston State now joined the list thanks to their commitment from their 4-star tight end, now shooting at number 11 in terms of recruiting classes in the ACSA. But we also have a couple other changes to the recruiting rankings as both Bluffton Tech and Central Georgia A&M do move up thanks to the commitments that they did get over this past week. Bluffton Tech now moving up to number 3 in the nation, while Central Georgia A&M not falling too far behind. They are now number 4 in the nation, and both of those teams did jump over Coastal Alabama, who did not get any prospects over the past week. They fall down 2 spots all the way down to number 5 in the ACSA recruiting rankings here on PhilSteele.com. So after taking a look at the ACSA Top 25 polls, as well as the more notable recruits signing at various schools throughout the country, let's now take a look at the 10 games that will be shown over the course of Week 8. Starting with the primetime games, Monday night, we're going to have a great matchup in the Big North Conference. We're going to have the Bluffton Tech fighting Muskrats, who are currently undefeated, sitting at 7-0. Going to go on the road to play against the Iowa Institute of Technology, who comes into this matchup ranked number 14 in the nation and currently sitting with a 6-1 record. Definitely in the thick of things of going to the Big North Championship. It'll be a very good matchup to watch for sure. After that, we'll have our non-primetime games that will all be shown in one Tuesday episode. The first game will be the 15th ranked Hayes Indians in the Big Southwest Conference, going on the road to play against New Mexico Tech, who is still searching for their first win this season. They are the only Power 5 team in the ACSA that is currently winless. Sitting at 0-7, they're going to have a challenge to get their first win against these guys for sure. After that, we'll now travel to the Sunshine Conference, where we're going to see 2 teams that are currently sitting at 1-6. The Southeastern A&M Raiders going on the road to play against the Winsburg A&M Patriots. Both teams trying to get their seasons back on track, not doing very well, either of them are. We'll see who improves to 2-6 in this matchup. Then we also keep it in the Sunshine, keeping that sun rolling in the great state of Virginia. Richard Powell Tech Demons go on the road to play against Northern Virginia State. 2 teams that are both currently sitting at 2-5 and just 1 game out of one of the Sunshine Conference championship spots. We'll see who gets a little bit closer to that and improves to a respectable 3-5 record. Moving on to the Wednesday primetime game, we keep it in the Big North Conference. Yes, there are 2 top 25 matchups in the Big North. The number 3 ranked Southfield Dalmatians go on the road to play against the Iroquois Eagles, who are currently sitting at 6-1 and come into this game ranked in the top 20, sitting at number 20 in the nation. A very good matchup to watch. This will be dropping Wednesday night as well. After that, we go into Thursday with 4 games that will be shown on Thursday. Actually, first game of it will be shown will be Southern Virginia in Danville going on the road to play against the Montana State Helena Miners. Southern Virginia's downfield with a chance to move up to 500 to keep them in the Sunshine Conference race. Speaking of that Sunshine Conference, we have the North Virginia Angels going on the road to play against the Thomas Jefferson Minutemen, who come into this matchup ranked 1-6. North Virginia currently right in the thick of things as well, fighting for a Sunshine Conference championship spot. We'll see if they pull to 500 this season with this game against Thomas Jefferson. In the third game of the Thursday slate matchups, we have the number 2 team in the nation in the Warwick Rebels, coming off a great win against Herbert Hoover College, going on the road to play against the Charlotte State Kings, who have struggled to find their footing. Currently sitting at 3-4 on the season, a disappointing campaign, but they can get themselves back on track if they can get a huge upset victory in this matchup. And for the final Thursday game that will be shown, we have the number 17 team in the nation in the Hiawatha Chiefs going on to road to play against a, little bit of a basement dweller right now in the Big North Conference in the Rugby Boilermakers, who have taken losses to teams like the Darn Jaguars from the Stars and Stripes, and since then have just really struggled through this season. We'll see if they can pull the upset on the number 17 team in the nation, as this will wrap up the Thursday slate of games. And finally, the last game that will be shown in Week 8 will have number 11 Chattanooga Tech, the number 11 team in the nation, after losing to Capital Tennessee in the previous matchup, going on the road to play against the University of Alabama Hoover, who still is in the top 25, but they just lost to Southern Alabama State. They sit at number 22 with that 5-2 record. We'll see whether UAH can get back on track and win their 6th game of the season, or if Chattanooga Tech will continue to downfall for UAH and give them their 3rd loss of the year. So guys, that will wrap up today's ACSA episode. If you are excited for Week 8 of the inaugural season of the ACSA, do me a favor and please smash that like button as well as hit subscribe if you do happen to be brand new to the channel. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers as of the recording of this video, and I would love for you guys to join me on that journey if you love college football like I do. In the meantime though, I hope you guys are all out there having a wonderful day. Take care everybody.